right, here it is. I know that there's some interesting ones in there. And I've moved to the couch because I want to be close to these babies in case they want to be in love with me and spend a little time with me on the couch. I know it. Okay, let's read it. Of course. Alcohol. Okay. Come on, buddy. Oh, you see his thing? It's healing so good. I'm so proud of him. He's been leaving it alone. It was quite the ordeal to get him to leave it alone and stop like scratching it and hurting himself. But okay. So pretty much alcohol. I'm not quite sure 100% if alcoholism is fully like hereditary or if it's circumstantial, or if, you know, if like people are, you know, have predispositions to be alcoholic-ish. I really don't like the label alcoholic. First of all, because I don't like any labels. I don't like any rules. I don't like to be put in any box. In fact, it's hilarious. One of my best friends earlier said, I don't like to be put in any box. I'm claustrophobic. I mean, for real? I mean, that's pretty funny. So for me, let me just say that my mom's dad, whenever I hear stories about him, it's always that he was a really, really bad alcoholic. Now, my memories of him, I don't know, maybe I wasn't aware of it at the time, but like, I don't know. I have some really good memories of him. And then I have memories of the end of his physical life here, to where I remember going to somewhere, but I'm kind of getting off topic here. The whole point was, my parents neither one of them really drank alcohol. And like, part of me too was like, because it was forbidden in my young life, because of the way that I am, was I kind of destined the whole time to abuse it? Or is there something in me, you know, chemically, that really is ultimately kind of like allergic to it? Or is there some kind of thing when you that my body really does have a reaction to it anytime it enters my system, and that I can't control myself when I'm drinking? Or is it the way that I'm using it to cope with things, or to numb the pain, or feel any feeling really, or anything? And it's been almost 4 years since I've had alcohol. One time I accidentally drank out of my friend's cup, and then I did take one swig of another thing one time, just to see what it tasted like. That I had already been in the mindset of my relationship with alcohol, and really haven't had the desire whatsoever to drink since the day that I quit on accident, that I really wasn't even planning on quitting that day. Ultimately, for me, I was very, very against it for the longest time, until I was about like 14 years old. And then I was not in a good place at all. And really, ultimately, alcohol became my biggest coping mechanism of all. Now, the first time that I drank beer, I was like very, very young. There was a hot Budweiser I remember that I had taken out of a like mini fridge that wasn't even plugged in one of my neighbor's campers. Way a long time ago, at some point when I lived up in North Home. Now, I remember not really liking the taste, but kind of knowing at the time that I was more like drinking it for the effect, and that I kind of wanted to see how it made me feel different and how being drunk felt. Now, have I ever been the kind of drinker that could just have a few? No, never. It was always the drinking to like freaking blackout oblivion, most of the time drinking and driving, just a lot. You know, there were a lot of times where I literally don't remember like periods of my life, because I was in such a drunken stupor state, and really honestly didn't really want to remember anything anyway. You know, I was very, very, very promiscuous. So many one night stands, it's not even funny. I've almost even like lost track. You know, if you're gonna judge me for that, I don't even care about being judged anymore. Being judged is not my problem. And I'm gonna giggle here a little bit and say that I don't really have a problem with any other substance other than alcohol. And even with alcohol, like every other substance that I've ever done, I've been able to just decide that I was going to quit one day and then quit and never touch the stuff ever again. Like that's the way that it was with cocaine. That's the way that it was with pills. That's the way it was with crack. That's the way it was with, I never really did meth. I never ever did heroin. I've never used needles. But that's not to say that if I wouldn't possibly go back to maybe trying any drugs other than pot. I mean, come on, or mushrooms, or I mean, even like there were times, you know, here's the thing. I just don't like feeling like I am out of control of my mind anymore. I really don't have any desire to have any of these ayahuasca mushroom things. I sometimes I think to myself, oh, could you have like a glass of wine with dinner, or would it be cool to try that? Interesting. But honestly, like when alcohol enters anyone's body, it changes. It's once it's in your like bloodstream, or even like in your mouth or whatever, like for real, like it scientifically, chemically in your body, it changes something inside of you. And I personally just do not like who I become when I am drunk, and I don't really have any control over that. And I mean, it's silly because they call it spirits for a reason, and literally like alcohol is like poisoning yourself, and I really just don't have any desire to do that anymore. I tried going to AA. AA doesn't really like me. I challenge things. Churches don't really like me because I challenge things, and I'm a distraction, and I'm, you know, off topic, and you know, that's just kind of how I've been my entire life, and I'm not going to change that. In fact, That's, in my opinion, one of the best things about me. But I rub people the wrong way. But here's the thing. I also worked in restaurants for 20 years, and when you're in that constant environment where alcohol is so predominantly there all the time, it's, once I accidentally got removed and the restaurant that I was working in closed and I wasn't in that environment anymore, and I was able to get away from it and that energy for, honestly, just a couple freaking days, I was saved. Something happened to me and I was saved. Now, here's the other thing too. Anymore, I really just do not like to be around people that are drunk, because I know that they're not even, I can't really take anything seriously that they say. I can't really take anything seriously that they do, because when you're under the influence of alcohol, you're not really acting like yourself. And like, I just want people to be like real. You know, I just want to know real people. I just want to have real interactions and real friendships and real conversations and real feelings, and to not have it like tainted by anything. You know what I mean? Even when people when I play in bars, and people are like complimenting me and my music, because most of my music is like about like not drinking and like overcoming drugs and alcohol ultimately, and like getting better. And like, sometimes I just feel so out of place in bars playing that music, but then at the same time I'm just like, well, where else would I be? I don't really have any problem being around those situations, other than I just find it hard to find people who are vibrating on the level where all of their faculties and their mind is clear and that sort of thing. I mean, even with pot anymore, man, like I'm about to just, I don't know, I'm not even quite sure that any substance really does anything good for me anymore. And I'm so grateful and happy to even say that. Wow, like saying that out loud, that I really just like love me for me now, and don't have any desire to like look outside myself for any relief of any kind, to where it's like I have such this peace and happiness and joy and love and serenity within me without any substances, that I really don't have any feeling that I'm trying to achieve that I cannot achieve without drugs and alcohol. You know, and for a while, you know, justifying being, you know, like just on pot, or I just, you know, smoke, I I mean, I do take CBD before bed, but it's CBD and melatonin, and sometimes my mind is like just too wild. But at the same time, alcohol does nothing good for me. The amount of money I've saved, the amount of, you know, I will never get a DUI ever again. I remember everything that I do, and like also it like takes a lot to get some people to believe that you've changed, but I believe that like I am at my absolute best without alcohol. And I really wish other people would realize that too, because the world revolves around it, kind of. Like, everybody's got a drink in their hand all the time, and I think it's sad, and I don't like it. And I that's the change that I want to see in the world, so that's what I do, among a lot of other things.